When we simplify polynomials, that sounds terrifying, but it's really not. Simplifying polynomials is a fancy way of telling you to distribute to get rid of parentheses. It's telling you to combine like terms. Man, my handwriting's terrible, and I'm sorry. It's telling you to distribute. It's telling you to combine like terms. And it's telling you to put everything in order. So when we say simplify in math class, really we're just talking clean up shop. Make it as pretty as you can. So we know most of these rules already, but let me just hit some of the big ones. When you're distributing to get rid of parentheses, be really, really careful about negatives. They really, really love to just be tricky with those negatives. A negative times a negative is a positive. A positive times a positive is also a positive. But if you have a positive and a negative, then you get a negative. If you have a negative and a positive, you still get a negative. So just be really, really careful of that when you're distributing, that you're keeping track of your signs. When you multiply x's together, or y's, or z's, or w's, whatever letter you're doing, when you multiply your x's together, you are using the exponents to count how many x's there are. So that x to the fifth says there are 5 x's here, or something like that. You can only combine terms if they're letters, if they're variables, and their exponents are the same. So you cannot combine an x and an x to the third. It does not work like that. They are different. So basically, simplify, for the most part, is a code word for combining like terms. Combining like terms. So we actually know most of these rules already. When we solved equations and things like that, we simplified. We just didn't call it simplifying. So here's my first example. I've got parentheses, so I'm going to distribute. I'm going to distribute a 3 in. So 3 times x gives me 3x. 3 times a positive 4 gives me a positive 12. Here I've got a negative 2 that I am distributing. So negative 2 times 6x makes negative 12x. And then negative 2 times negative 9, here's my negative times a negative, gives me a positive 18. So I distributed to get rid of parentheses. Now I need to combine like terms. So I can combine things if their letters and exponents are the same. So 3x and minus 12x are like terms. So that's going to give me negative 9x. And then my plus 12 and my plus 18 are like terms. They're going to give me plus 30. And that's it. I am done from there. I have combined all my like terms, and they are in order, the most x's to the least number of x's. So that's it. We've been doing these skills. We just haven't called them simplified. So if I go to this next one, I've got some more distributing to do. 2x times 3x. Well, 2 times 3 gives me 6. And then x times x, there are 2 x's there, so that would be x squared. So 2x times positive 8 gives me positive 16x. There's only the one x. If I come over here, I am distributing a positive 2x to the fourth times x is going to be positive 2x to the fifth, because I had 4 x's and another x would give me 5 x's. Positive 2x to the fourth times positive 12 gives me positive 24x to the fourth. I didn't add any more x's. So I've distributed to get rid of my parentheses. Next, I need to combine like terms. But the problem is here that there are no like terms. This guy has 2 x's. He only has 1, so they don't combine. He has 5 x's, so he doesn't combine with anything. He has 4 x's, so cannot combine with anything. There is nothing to put together. So the last thing then is to put these in order, from the most number of x's to the least number of x's. And I'm counting exponents here. So the biggest exponent is this 2x to the fifth, a positive 2x to the fifth. And then I've got a positive 24x to the fourth. And then I've got a positive 6x squared. and then I've got a positive 16x. So that's from 5x's, 4x's, 2x's, 1x. It always goes in order from the most number of x's to the least. So that's great. Those are fine and dandy. The weird one, if you see two parentheses that are touching each other, like these guys or like these guys, you need to distribute everything into the second parentheses. So here's what I mean by that. I really, really like, when I do this, I like writing it out. So these two parentheses are touching. So what I need to do is I need to take this 2x, and I need to distribute into the 3x minus 7. And then I need to take this plus 8 and distribute it into this 3x plus 7. I'm sorry, minus 7. And as soon as I rewrite it to look like that, it matches these guys up here. So I'm going to take this guy, I'm going to distribute to get rid of my parentheses. So this will be 6x squared minus 14x. Distribute over here, it's a positive 8. So that gives me positive 24x. Positive 8 times negative 7 makes negative 56. So you distribute, and then you combine like terms. The only like terms I can combine are these two in the middle. They both are just a single x. So I'm going to bring my 6x squared down. I did not do anything there. Negative 14x plus 24x makes positive 10x. Bring down my negative 56 because nothing happened to it. And then the last step is to put them in order. The most number of x's I have to the least. I have 2 x's, I have 1 x, I have no x's. That's already in order. This guy is done. So let's try setting up the last one. I have 2 parentheses touching, so everything in the first parenthesis needs to get distributed to the second. So I'm going to start with the 3x squared and distribute it into this x plus 7. I'm going to take this plus 7x and distribute it into this x plus 7. And then I'm going to take this plus 1. And I'm going to distribute it into this x plus 7. So here, this multicolored bit right here makes up this first parenthesis. And then the second parenthesis just keeps getting repeated. Everything gets distributed into there. So let's distribute real quick. 3x squared times x gives me 3x to the third. 3x squared times positive 7 gives me positive 21x squared. 7x times x, positive 7x, gives me 7x squared plus 49x. Down here, a positive 1x, or you could just say plus x, same thing. And then positive times a positive is also a positive. So I distributed a whole bunch. It looks terrifying. It's really not. Because up next says combine all my like terms. So I can combine up these two because they both have a squared in them. I can combine up these two because they both have a single x. And that's it. So let's just bring everything down. 3x to the third, nothing happened. Plus 21 plus 7 gives me plus 28x squared. Plus 49 plus 1 gives me plus 50x. And then my plus 7 just comes down all lonely. And then the last thing is to put them in order from most number of x's to least. I have 3 x's, 2 x's, 1 x, no x's. It's already in order.